Hello, I'm Todd Phillips, the editor of Canadian Auto Dealer. We're here today with Dave McClean. He's the director of marketing for the Canadian International AutoShow. Now, last year, the show got in just under the wire before all of the clampdowns with COVID and a lot of events on a large scale were canceled. And so, it was a great show last year. But this year, the auto show has to reinvent itself in a new way. So we've got Dave in here to help tell us and break the news, really, of what it's going to be like. So, Dave, thanks for joining us.
Well, thanks for having me, Todd.
So it's going to look a whole new look. So give dealers and manufacturers and those in our audience sort of a sense of what the auto show experience is going to be like in 2021, the dates and the overall experience.
Yeah, well, I guess it all started with the close of the 2020 show, and we were very fortunate that we got our event in just under the wire before all kinds of other automotive events around the world were canceled. In our post-mortem or post-evaluations of the 2020 event, we realized then, only because it coincided with the recognition for this COVID-19 pandemic virus, that we were going to have to do things differently in 2021. Certainly, there was no writing on the wall at that time saying that it's not going to be possible for us to have a physical event. But when we realized or took a look at the lead time that was required, the runway that we required to build out the show, we knew that it was only a matter of months before we'd have to make a decision. So really, what we did is we didn't react. It wasn't a panic. We had already been talking, and prior to the 2020 show, that there was greater attribution that was required by the Canadian International Auto Show, by manufacturers, attribution to retail sales. And so we looked at what else we could do to serve the manufacturers, and of course the more than 1,100 new car dealers in Ontario, to get people excited about that new car buying experience and to continue with our business model, which, it's when you take a look at it, it's not just about the physical presentation of the auto industry, it's about the presentation of the auto industry and all of its diversity. So we decided that should things continue down the path that was just being initiated, that we would have to do something different. And that's when we came up with the virtual platform, the creation of the world's first virtual auto show.
So what is that going to look like? So it's going to be extended over, I understand, the same time period in February. So tell us a bit about what that looks like from both an exhibitor point of view and then from an attendee point of view.
Well, you're right. On the surface, we have to get our heads around it and say, what does this look like? And it really depends on how you're committed to the event itself. The big buckets that we had to take on when we were communicating this to manufacturers, one is there has to be familiarity. We don't want to just create a hypothetical hall that exists somewhere out there in space. So we're using the Metro Toronto Convention Center. We're continuing with our home, what we consider our home for the auto show, with all the different floors and everything. Of course, you don't have to deal with the escalators, but the layers of floor, the 100 level for Auto Exotica, the 300 level in the north building, the 800 level in the south building, they're all going to be included in our platform. The next big big bucket issue was that we had to show manufacturers in our discussions with them how they can use this platform. And that is that they're not bound to the same limitations that they have at a physical event. That's the good news. If there is a silver lining, it's that they can extend their brand experience to something much greater than what it's been in the past. If you were, say, General Motors, for example, you could have Mary Barra addressing the Canadian marketplace on Wednesday night at 7 o'clock, talking about the future of electric vehicles manufactured by General Motors for the Canadian marketplace. Well, typically you couldn't do that with her scheduling and her availability. As Toyota, you could bring in a lead designer, and understanding why the Prius model line is going to evolve into something much greater than what it is today. Could we access that designer from Tokyo or wherever he or she is located in the world? Probably not. But we know that we have the opportunity now to expand the platform, to make it broader and deeper for the manufacturers, so that maybe they can't give the same experience to consumers as they've typically enjoyed over the last 47 years, but they can still give them a great brand experience, still excite them with new content, still engage them in different ways and show them why their particular brand is better than their competitors.
It's an interesting challenge because if you think about it, even the physical auto show, you've got a hall and you have real estate that the manufacturer can set up, but it's really up to them to create an engaging experience in the physical space. They invest in, in their story and the booths and the exhibits, the interactivity. So very much, I think I'm hearing you issue the challenge back to them. We'll give you the platform, but really bring your A game to the virtual event and treat it as seriously as you would your physical event, right?
Yeah, and it's not just that we'll give you the platform, but we're going to give you the audience. And we got to remember one thing, that as the auto show, we're in show business. We want to get people excited about the auto industry and all of its diversity. We want to drive them down to the event. In this particular case, we'll drive them to the platform. We want them to have a certain expectation of the experience that they're about to encounter. So we'll build out our own content. We'll have $50,000, giveaways. We'll have different prize promotions, different features, our own proprietary content, such as Auto Exotica and working with Cobble Beach for the classics presentation. So we're going to do everything that we can, but we are not the guardian of the manufacturer brands. Like, we never have been, and we wouldn't tell them how they should be presenting their brand to the car buying audience that's out in the marketplace. That's really up to them. But we will work with them to make sure that they can deliver that message, to deliver that voice in every way possible.
The other interesting part of Auto Show Week, really, it's a week of events and virtual events and a lot of in-person meetings, that sort of stuff. What about things like VIP night or social gatherings? What are the plans? Obviously, even by then, I don't think, large-scale gatherings are going to be permitted. So what are your thoughts there, with what advice you might have for manufacturers or others to maybe plan their own events, whatever that might look like? So.
Yeah, that's probably the biggest price we're going to pay. I mean, I love VIP night. We've built that up over the years from a small social collection of those in the industry to the largest automotive gala in the country, and truly one of the biggest in North America. It's an exciting evening. It's the kickoff to the auto show itself, but also it allows the manufacturers to connect with their dealers and their stakeholders in a social and fun environment. It's So the way we've conducted it over the past number of years, we're not going to be able to do that this year. But that's not to say that we cannot connect with manufacturers, that they can't create a platform if should they have virtual meetings, small gatherings, socially distancing of their own, and they want to connect into the auto show platform. So it's a way for them to still connect with the platform, but maybe do something hosting on their own.
Well, the other thing is the auto show has evolved more than just, obviously, over the recent years of just to showcase a vehicle. So that's the core. There's all kinds of experiential events related to other brands that are there, and for consumers, they're able to interact and experience a lot of, you mentioned the thrill of the car buying experience, but other things. So I imagine using technology, some of those elements will be added in as well to this platform. So a consumer will get some other taste of other brands and other ideas.
Yeah, the one that comes to top of mind right off the bat, and we've started building out our features, is probably gaming. I mean, e-gaming was the fastest growing sport/recreation in the country over the last couple of years, and we've had it as part of our platform at the auto show. But gaming, direct interaction with consumers, is going to be something that we have to figure out. We're going to be looking to work with manufacturers for some of their special announcements, some of their special content that they've actually got within their own proprietary exhibits, and then promote that content to consumers out in our sort of our mainstream media campaigns. So we're going to take the same approach that we've had in the past, building up all the hype and the excitement around the auto industry. We're going to be spending, hundreds of thousands of dollars marketing this platform. And certainly, I think as manufacturers, they want to know that they're getting efficiency out of their investment, out of their spend. And so we're going to work very closely with them, considering that this is going to be viewed as a startup.
Well, the other thing is, we mentioned earlier, we were talking about a virtual media day as well. You're going to try to create or encourage manufacturers to have new product releases, new models, or new storylines for the media to help, amplify the story as well beyond the show itself, right? As per the physical events, right?
Yeah, great point, Todd. And I'm glad you brought that up, because we know the Canadian International Auto Show, from a media perspective, a media and promotion perspective, we get more coverage than all other auto shows in Canada combined. So it's very important that we work with the manufacturers. We have the world's first media day as it relates to the auto show, and we give them the opportunity. We'll ask them to embargo certain announcements, to hold back on executive addresses to the audience, but to really keep content back that's going to be newsworthy, that's going to create a story. And whether it's about future technologies, new model introductions, celebrity endorsements, whatever it may be, we're going to ask that they make the same commitment in 2021 in the virtual platform as they typically would in a physical event.
Well, Dave, you sound about as enthusiastic and pumped up about the show, the virtual show, as for the physical show. I know I've worked with you for years on that, so it sounds like a lot of people have been innovating and just trying to inject some life and energy and just transform this without it being a negative. Let's try to see how this can be a positive, right?
Well, we've got a huge mountain to climb, but we're not looking for a single source solution. We're looking for a collaborative effort from us as the show, working with manufacturers, their agencies, partners, vendors, whoever may be involved in our event, which we know there are thousands of people. And we want to put on the best presentation of the auto industry that we can for consumers so that we keep that new car buying experience alive. Our job hasn't changed.
Well, so I wish you all the best. And so thanks for joining us today.
All right. Thanks, Todd.
Okay. Signing off.